time, we're thinking that that's her husband, Jack Brooksbank. It turns out, guess who that mystery man was at the time?
Was it Meghan's guy?
It was Marcus Anderson.
Marcus Anderson, yeah.
Why is she having dinner with Marcus Anderson, and why is he then going home with Meghan and Harry?
January 2026 hit, and those photos people whispered about for years, they exploded all over the internet again. Meghan Markle, Marcus Anderson, side by side at Soho House events, Paris Fashion Week, even Disneyland trips with her kids. And somehow, every single time, he's not in the background, not off to the side, he's right there next to her. Every single time. Now, let's be clear. Marcus Anderson isn't just some random friend who wandered into the frame.
Actually attended the garden party and overheard something Meghan said to Harry. So after about 15 minutes talking to guests and being charming, Meghan turned to Harry, and I quote from Lady C's book, "Harry, this is really boring."
This is the man known for controlling access to some of the most exclusive private clubs in the world. The gatekeeper, the fixer, the guy who decides who gets in and who stays outside. And wherever Meghan moves, Marcus is right there like clockwork. That's why people are finally asking the question nobody wanted to say out loud before. What exactly is the real connection between Meghan Markle and the man who introduced her to Prince Harry? Here's the detail that keeps people talking. Meghan has never been photographed alone at Soho House. Not once. Not ever. In every single image, Marcus Anderson is by her side. No exceptions. This is the same man who helps oversee membership approvals. The same man reported to have arranged her first meeting with Prince Harry. The same man seen at her baby shower, her wedding, and even private family trips. And hovering in the background of this entire circle is Nick Jones, the founder of Soho House, a businessman who knows exactly what happens behind those invite-only doors. These photos don't exist in a vacuum. They show a pattern, and whether people like it or not, patterns make people curious. Meghan has often spoken about wanting privacy, but critics online argue that what these images really show is access, ambition, and extremely powerful connections. This isn't about romance rumors, it's about proximity to influence. So let's break down what Soho House actually is. This isn't just a trendy club with fancy drinks, it's one of the—
Queenie said it best. It's downright bizarre that a man, gay or straight, constantly clings to a family like Marcus Anderson does with Harry, Meghan, and their kids. He is like a parasite, always lurking in their shadow.
Most exclusive private membership networks in the world. London, New York, Toronto, Los Angeles, and beyond. Creative elites, industry insiders, big money circles. You don't just pay a fee and walk through those doors. You need sponsorship. You need approval. And most importantly, you need someone powerful backing you. Enter Marcus Anderson. He serves as the global membership director. He didn't start at the top either. He reportedly worked his way up from waiter to becoming Nick Jones's right-hand man.
Meghan Markle's best friend, who set her up with Prince Harry, has vanished. Whatever happened to Meghan's best friend Marcus Anderson? The tall, handsome Canadian was third wheel in the early days of her romance with Prince Harry, and he was front and center at their 2018.
The person helping shape guest lists for elite celebrity events. The man connected to the rooms where actors, models, executives, and wealthy insiders network behind closed doors. Marcus was often described as Meghan's close friend during her early relationship with Prince Harry. The tall Canadian was seen as a third wheel in those early days, and he was front and center at their 2018 wedding. For a while, he seemed inseparable from their story. Nick Jones founded Soho House in 1995 and built it into a global brand valued in the billions. And he's been very clear about one thing. He once said publicly, "We try not to give membership to people who would fuel paparazzi or bring press." That rule mattered. Big names were reportedly turned away. Kim Kardashian.
And so for Harry himself, he's now, in many people are suggesting, trapped. And as his mother famously said in that line, it's difficult because there's three of us in this marriage. History, truly, according to that source, is repeating itself. Harry is very much sort of whatever is suggested he has to go along with it.
Kobe Bryant, major global stars with intense media attention, too much spotlight, too much press. Soho House said no. So here's the question that keeps coming back. How does Meghan Markle, at the time a cable TV actress on Suits, reportedly earning around $50,000 per episode, gain access to Soho House locations around the world? How does she become a regular in spaces where even bigger celebrities were reportedly denied? One explanation that keeps circulating online centers on Marcus Anderson himself.
What now would seem to be a very reasonable position of not believing a word coming out of Meghan Markle's mouth about my royal family. Now, most people now agree with me about the veracity of what comes out of her mouth. But at the time, this was deemed so controversial that my company, rather than defending my right to free speech, the network said, you've either apologized for disbelieving her, or you have to leave.
Meghan and Marcus became close friends. He was the one with the keys to those doors. Supporters say that's simply networking in elite social circles. Critics say it looks strategic. Either way, access to rooms filled with powerful, wealthy, connected people can absolutely change someone's life fast. And then there are the photos. These aren't stiff red carpet poses. These aren't random group selfies. The body language in some of these shots shows familiarity, comfort, a tight inner circle vibe.
I got this direct message from Meghan Markle.
A private message.
Yeah. And it said, hey, I'm a big fan, and I'm so excited you're following me. And this is
She said to you?
This was about 3 years ago. And I replied, and we corresponded quite regularly on Twitter.
That's what makes people pause and look twice. Not because of wild accusations, but because proximity to power always raises eyebrows. At the end of the day, people see what they want to see. Some see friendship and loyalty. Others see influence and calculated positioning. But one thing is certain. Whenever Meghan was in those elite Soho House spaces, Marcus Anderson was never far away. And that's the detail that keeps the conversation alive. December 2014, Meghan and Marcus at an event. She's holding a large glass of wine, her arm wrapped around his back. Marcus is leaning in close, their faces nearly touching. It's the kind of body language that—
I'm joking, this is very important. Now, the Rwanda scheme, it seems, was cruelly abandoned. We know it was impetuously axed by this funny little man who's our Prime Minister on day one. It's just a gimmick. It's a gimmick. And he axed it on day one.
Instantly gets people talking. The kind that makes observers rewind the clip and stare a little longer. The closeness in those photos is hard to ignore. Now jump to June 2016, just 1 month before Meghan reportedly meets Prince Harry. Toronto Gala. Marcus in a sharp blue tuxedo, Meghan in a sleek little black dress. His arm is firmly around her waist, not hovering, not casual, firm. The pictures carry a flirtatious energy that people online still debate today. It's subtle, but it's there. And remember, this was only weeks before her blind date with Harry. She was clearly close with Marcus. That much isn't speculation.
I don't know if a meeting is definitely going to take place. We do know the Duke of Sussex is very keen to see his father. I think the key issue is that if any details of this meeting, should it go ahead, are leaked to the media, that could compromise a reconciliation, because what I'm told is at the heart of all of this.
Fast forward to September 2017 at the Invictus Games in Toronto. Meghan is seated next to Marcus in the arena. Their knees appear to brush in the tight seating. Harry is there too, but one snapshot captures Meghan smiling brightly toward Marcus, while Harry looks off into the distance, appearing tense. That single frame fueled endless commentary. Then comes October 2025, Paris Fashion Week. The photo that went viral, Meghan and Marcus walking through the streets of Paris holding hands. Not linking arms the way friends sometimes do, not guiding someone through a crowd, holding hands in a relaxed, natural way. Social media lit up instantly. People asked, does no one else find this strange? The image spread fast, and the questions followed even faster. June 2025, Disneyland. A family trip celebrating Lilibet's 4th birthday. And once again, Marcus Anderson appears in the family photos. But here's the detail that raised eyebrows. Meghan used a heart emoji to cover his face in her Instagram post. If he's simply a longtime friend, why hide him? That small digital sticker only made the curiosity grow. Here's another striking detail. Meghan has reportedly never been photographed alone at Soho House over the years. She's consistently seen with Marcus, or occasionally with Harry. And according to Soho House policies, guests are expected to remain with the member who brings them. That would suggest Meghan attended as Marcus Anderson's guest. Every time. That's not a small detail. That's a pattern. Nick Jones stepped down as Soho House CEO in November 2022 following a prostate cancer diagnosis, but reports say he remained involved in creative and membership decisions. As founder, he built the culture. He would understand how the clubs operate, the parties, the private rooms, the guest lists. Soho House isn't just a place for cocktails. It's a networking engine designed to connect ambitious people with wealth, influence, and opportunity. Deals are discussed, form, relationships grow, all away from flashing cameras. Jones also owns Babington House, the countryside retreat where Harry and Meghan reportedly had early dates. Sources claim Marcus Anderson coordinated logistics for those meetings, helping maintain privacy. That's not just friendly planning, and that's structured facilitation. Babington House itself has a reputation. Insiders describe it as edgy and discreet, a place where networking goes far beyond small talk under chandeliers and fireplaces. So how did Harry and Meghan actually meet? According to royal biographer Katie Nicholl, Harry approached Marcus Anderson directly to arrange a private introduction to Meghan at Soho House, London in July 2016. The gathering was intentionally small, reportedly 7 or 8 people, giving them space to talk without intense pressure. But here's what stands out. Harry went to Marcus specifically to make it happen. Why Marcus? Because he had the access, the venues, the trust, and he already knew Meghan well. Think about that dynamic. Marcus sets up the introduction between his close friend Meghan and Prince Harry. Then he remains present, helping arrange private dates at Babington House, offering exclusive Soho House spaces, staying within their circle. Some observers have labeled him a fixer. And what does that mean? Someone who handles details quietly, someone who opens doors others can't even knock on, someone who moves pieces behind the scenes. Here's the reality. During her years on Suits, Meghan was a working actress building her career. She had ambition, she had drive, but she wasn't yet operating inside elite global circles. Access changes everything, and Marcus Anderson was positioned at the center of that access. Then Meghan befriended Marcus Anderson, and everything seemed to shift fast. Suddenly she's traveling across Europe, attending ultra-exclusive parties, mixing with wealthy insiders, showing up at private events most working actresses wouldn't normally access. That kind of jump doesn't go unnoticed. People started asking how it all happened so quickly. Marcus built his career on one core skill: connecting the right people. He knows who matters in elite circles. He knows who should meet who. And more importantly, he knows how to make those introductions happen quietly and smoothly. That's his lane. That's his expertise. When Meghan entered his circle, she didn't just gain a friend. She stepped into a global network stretching from London to Toronto to Los Angeles and beyond. Private clubs, invite-only gatherings, rooms filled with decision makers. Everywhere she went, that network appeared to open doors. Critics online argue that's more than casual friendship. They see it as professional facilitation. And that's where the big question comes in. In elite networking culture, access usually flows both ways. So what exactly was the dynamic here? Supporters say Meghan was simply ambitious and building relationships like anyone else in entertainment. Skeptics say the trajectory looks highly strategic. Look at the timeline people point to. A cable TV actress becomes a Soho House regular. Through that circle, she meets Prince Harry. That introduction turns into a relationship. That relationship turns into a royal wedding. Observers who question the sequence don't call it luck. They call it precise timing with the guidance of someone who understood influence inside those spaces. Fast forward to today. Years after the royal wedding, years after stepping back from royal duties, and Marcus Anderson is still present. He was at the 2018 royal wedding. He appeared at the 2019 New York baby shower. He's photographed at Paris Fashion Week in October 2025, even holding hands publicly. He shows up again during the June 2025 Disneyland trip. The pattern hasn't faded. Some reports have described Marcus as one of the most influential men in Meghan's inner circle, second only to Harry. That phrasing alone sparked debate. A hospitality executive from Soho House connected to nearly every major milestone in her rise. That keeps people talking. Sources close to the Sussexes have claimed Marcus prefers to stay out of the spotlight. That's reportedly why he wasn't featured in the Netflix documentary. That's why his face was covered with an emoji in the Disneyland post. He's said to value privacy. But here's what critics keep circling back to. If the friendship is straightforward, why the extra effort to stay hidden? Why not simply say, "This is my longtime friend Marcus. We've known each other for years. The secrecy, intentional or not, adds another layer of curiosity. And then there's Harry's body language in certain photos that went viral. September 2017, Invictus Games. Meghan smiling brightly toward Marcus in one frame. Harry appearing tense in that same shot. Body language experts online had a field day with it. Some claimed there was visible tension. Others said it was just an awkward snapshot taken out of context. Still, dynamics matter. Marcus introduced Harry and Meghan. He reportedly helped coordinate their early private meetings. He remained close during the foundation of their relationship. That creates a unique triangle of history and loyalty. At the end of the day, some see a loyal friend who played matchmaker and stayed supportive. Others see a power connector who never left the picture. Either way, Marcus Anderson's role in Meghan's story is impossible to ignore. And the photos keep the conversation alive. Now look at this from Harry's side. If Marcus is truly Meghan's closest longtime friend, that creates a complicated dynamic. Accepting Marcus means accepting another man with rare access to his wife and children. And remember, Harry stepped away from his royal role and created distance from his own family for this marriage. That decision caused a visible rift with Prince William and King Charles. So if questions ever surface about loyalty or outside influence, that hits deeper than gossip. It touches everything Harry gave up. Let's break down what Soho House really represented in Meghan's life. It wasn't just cocktails and fashion parties. It was real access. Rooms filled with investors, designers, media executives, and global power players who could shift someone's entire trajectory overnight. Ron Burkle, billionaire investor with ties to Soho House. Fashion designers who were regulars. Jessica Mulroney, stylist with strong connections in Canadian elite circles. Serena Williams, a member who became one of Meghan's well-known friends. These relationships didn't form in isolation. They moved through the same overlapping networks, many of them linked to Marcus Anderson's world. Supporters would say Meghan simply built relationships like any ambitious professional. Critics say Marcus offered more than friendship. He offered strategic introductions, high-value access, and credibility in elite environments. That's the part that keeps the debate alive, because here's the hard question people whisper. In elite social ecosystems, access is rarely free. Powerful connectors invest time carefully. So what was the exchange? Was it mutual? Ambition? Shared social climbing? Or just loyalty between friends who trusted each other? Nobody outside that circle truly knows. The reason those late 2025 photos went viral is simple. They showed that the connection never faded. Years after the wedding, years after leaving royal duties, Marcus Anderson is still right there. Paris Fashion Week, Disneyland, private gatherings. The consistency raises eyebrows. Some critics go even further. They argue that Meghan entered royal life through the Soho House network, built global recognition, and then stepped away from the monarchy while keeping her fame, her brand, and her original network intact. To them, that looks strategic. To supporters, it looks like independence and smart positioning. Two very different interpretations of the same timeline. Nick Jones, founder of Soho House, attended Harry and Meghan's wedding, yet he has remained publicly silent about Meghan's years inside his clubs. No interviews spilling details, no insider stories about private rooms or guest lists, just silence. And that silence? It speaks loudly. Soho House built its brand on discretion. Privacy is the product. If confidential details about high-profile members ever leaked, the trust would collapse instantly. So of course, Jones protects the brand, he protects the network, he protects the relationships. That's smart business. Meanwhile, Marcus Anderson remains in the background, steady, consistent, never fully stepping into the spotlight. Meghan knows, Marcus knows, Nick Jones knows, and the public only sees flashes through carefully captured photos. So what does this all mean for Meghan's rise? Look at the trajectory. A working actress with ambition but limited global reach. Then a Soho House regular with access to international elites. Then an introduction to Prince Harry. Then royal status. Then a high-profile exit from royal life, but with global fame secured. And through every chapter, Marcus Anderson remains present. Some call that loyalty. Others call it a masterclass in networking. The real question becomes this: how much of this journey was coincidence? And how much was carefully calculated? When you line up the timeline, The events, the fashion weeks, the family trips, the repeated appearances, it's hard for critics to dismiss it as random. Marcus understands elite circles. He knows how to move quietly. He knows how to connect people without making it obvious. And Meghan's rise often looked smooth, almost effortless. That's what fuels the speculation, because no press release can erase images that already exist. No public statement can control how people interpret body language. And those Paris photos, holding hands in public, added another chapter to a story that refuses to disappear. At the center of it all is one undeniable fact. Marcus Anderson has been a constant figure in Meghan's world from the very beginning. Whether that represents deep friendship, strategic alliance, or something in between depends on who's telling the story. But the consistency? That's real, and that's why the conversation isn't going anywhere. Hidden faces at Disneyland, smiles, close touches, proximity that makes people look twice. The images show a bond that clearly didn't fade after the royal wedding. It didn't fade after stepping away from royal duties either. Years later, Marcus is still there, in the frame, in the background, sometimes right beside her. So what exactly did Marcus provide? Opportunity, connections, influence, access to powerful names like Ron Burkle, Jessica Mulroney, Serena Williams, and other high-profile insiders who could elevate someone's public profile fast. That kind of network isn't small, it's elite, it's global, and Meghan clearly moved within it comfortably. Supporters would say she used those connections smartly. She built relationships, she leveraged opportunities. That's ambition, but critics ask a tougher question. What was the cost? In elite circles, time and access are valuable currency. People don't pour energy into someone without believing in a shared benefit. Marcus had a role, Meghan benefited, and whatever their dynamic was, it lasted far longer than most people expected. Even today, Marcus appears to remain a constant presence, still in photos, still at events, still reportedly making introductions behind the scenes. That steady involvement raises questions for observers about loyalty, priorities, and the real mechanics behind Meghan's rapid rise from working actress to global figure. While Harry was front and center in the romance headlines and royal spotlight, some critics argue Marcus was operating quietly in the background, connecting dots, arranging spaces, facilitating meetings. That's the kind of behind-the-scenes influence most people never notice. And that's exactly why those resurfaced photos keep causing waves. They tell a visual story. Meghan's rise didn't happen in isolation. The timeline is visible, the access points are visible, and Marcus Anderson appears in nearly every chapter. That consistency keeps the conversation alive. Here's the question people can't seem to shake. Why is Marcus still so involved years after introducing her to Prince Harry? He's not publicly her employee, not her manager, not formally her business partner, yet he shows up at family vacations. He's photographed holding hands in Paris. He's present at major milestones. Some reports have even described him as one of the most important men in her life. For critics, that level of long-term involvement across continents and life changes feels unusual. For supporters, it's simply loyalty between close friends who shared formative years. Two very different lenses, same set of photos. Then there's the theory that fuels online speculation. Some believe Marcus knows everything. The Toronto years, the early Soho House, events, the networking introductions, the pre-royal timeline. They argue he witnessed it all, meaning he understands the full narrative from the very beginning. But here's the responsible reality. There is no verified evidence suggesting secret leverage or hidden control. Those ideas live mostly in speculation spaces. Still, perception matters. And when someone remains that consistently present, people will fill in blanks on their own. What keeps the debate alive is the contrast between visibility and privacy. If Marcus is simply a trusted friend, why the occasional effort to keep him out of official documentaries? Why the emoji over his face in family posts? Why not openly spotlight the friendship and remove the mystery? That tension between closeness and discretion sparks curiosity. Nick Jones, as founder of Soho House, also remains a silent figure in this story. He attended the wedding, he knows the culture of his clubs, but he has never publicly detailed what happened during Meghan's early years inside that network. That silence aligns with Soho House's core promise: discretion above all else. Protecting members protects the brand. That's business. When you line up the years, 2014, 2016, 2017, 2019, 2025, Marcus appears again and again. A decade of shared spaces, a decade of doors opening. That's not random overlap, it's sustained proximity. Now, here's the balanced takeaway. Ambitious people build networks. Connectors connect. Opportunities happen when preparation meets access. Meghan clearly navigated influential spaces successfully. Marcus clearly played a role in those environments. Whether that represents calculated strategy or simply strong friendship depends on perspective. The photos aren't disappearing, the timeline isn't changing, and Marcus Anderson isn't vanishing from the narrative. That's why the discussion keeps resurfacing. It's not about fairy tales, it's about power, access, influence, and how elite networks actually operate behind closed doors. At the center of it all are unanswered questions, not proven secrets, not confirmed schemes, just questions. And as long as the images continue to circulate, people will keep analyzing every smile, every touch, every appearance. One thing is undeniable, Marcus Anderson has been a consistent figure in Meghan's journey from actress to global name. Whether history views that as loyal friendship or strategic alliance, the impact is visible, and that's why the conversation isn't ending anytime soon.